The goal of this video is to review adding and subtracting polynomials. The main thing when we're adding and subtracting polynomials is we're going to combine like terms. Like term means we have the same variable. So now these are all x's, but not only the same variable, but also the same exponent. So x to the fourth and x to the third are not like terms, but this x to the fourth is a like term to this x to the fourth. So those two we can combine. The other thing to help you when you're adding and subtracting, thinking back to grade school, if you think of powers like place value when you're adding big numbers by hand. We line up the same place values and add ones to ones and tens to tens and so forth. We're going to do the same thing on here. So let's clean this up a little bit. And we'll start with this problem. 3x to the fourth plus 7x to the third minus 2x plus 5 plus x to the fourth minus 3x squared plus 5x minus 2. Using this idea of place value, I'm going to rewrite this out as a vertical addition problem. So I have my x to the 4 place. I have my x to the third place. I don't have an x squared here, so I'm going to put in a 0 as a placeholder. 0 times x squared is still 0. I didn't change it, but I'm holding its place. 2x and 5. So now when I come to my second one, I'm going to, again, line it up. I'm going to match up same place values. So the x to the fourth goes under the x to the fourth. The minus 3x squared comes underneath the x squared. I don't have an x to the third, so I'll put in a placeholder. I got my 5x, and I have my minus 2. Now when I'm adding, just like when I'm adding with big numbers, I just add down the common place values. The nice thing here, I don't have to worry about any carry digits because I stay within the same term. So I go 5 minus 2 is 3. Negative 2 plus 5 is going to be 3, and that's an x value. I got a 0 minus 3, that's a minus 3, or negative 3. That's in my x squareds. 7 plus 0 gives me 7x cubed. And 3x to the fourth plus 1x to the fourth is 4x to the fourth. So this is the idea, just line up the common place values, line up the like terms, and just add down. It's a way to organize it to make it less liable to forget anything or to mess up. Now another way we can do that is we can just, instead of rewriting it, just keep track of like terms as we go along. I generally like to make some note like we'll underline. We'll start with the x to the fourth. So I have 3x to the fourth and I have a 1x to the fourth. So that's going to give me 4x to the fourth. Now I'm going to go down from 4 to 3. Here's an x to the third. That's the only one here. So I will say 7x to the third. I go down one more, x squared, no x squareds here, but here I have one, minus 3x squared. Negative 2x, 5x, will give me a 3x, and a 5 and a negative 2 give me a 3. You notice I'm getting the same numbers, 4, 7, negative 3, 3, 3. Either way will work. The one thing I will say, watch out when you're doing it this way. If you notice, I underlined each number or each term as I added it. When we do it this way, it's easy to skip a term or miss something. So I like to make some notation to show that, yes, I have added every single term and I got that final answer. Now when we go to subtraction, so we're going to change this into a subtraction problem. subtraction is where you're most liable to make a mistake. So we come along and we can do this again vertically. We did the 3x to the fourth plus 7x to the third plus, put in our place value, 0x squared minus 2x plus 5. We have our x to the fourth, our minus 3x squared plus 5x minus 2. We'll put in our placeholder here. But in this case, we're subtracting instead of adding. And this is where it's so easy to make a mistake, because it's so easy to only think about subtracting this first one and not subtracting the others. So what I usually will do is I don't subtract. Instead of subtracting, I'm going to add the opposite. So I'm going to change this to an addition sign, and I'm going to take the opposite of every number on this second polynomial. So I'll make that one a minus, this one a minus. That one turns into a plus, that goes to a minus, and that's a plus. Now I'm not having to worry about the fact that I'm subtracting. I'm just adding, so I just come along and do what I did before. 3x to the fourth and a negative 1 is going to give me 2x to the fourth. 7 is still going to give me 7. Now here we have the 0 minus a negative is going to be plus 3, so I get a plus 3x squared. A negative 2 and a negative 5 is going to give us a minus 7x. And then 5 minus a negative makes that plus, so that one will also be 7. Now, if you're not wanting to line them up like this, you want to do what we did before. I do the same thing, but again, I'd come up here and say, the subtraction is going to cause me trouble. So I'll make that plus, and everything in this parenthesis, I'll take the opposite sign. So that will be minus, that will be plus, that will be minus, that will be plus. And then I can again go 3x to the fourth, and a minus 1x to the fourth is going to be 2x to the fourth. 7x to the third. X squared, there's none here. Here now this is a positive 3x squared. I have a minus 2x and a minus 5x. And I have a 5 and a plus 2. And you see, I get the same answer. So it works either way. Again, when you're subtracting, it's like adding. You're working with like terms. But I will always recommend don't subtract, just add the opposite. So it's your turn. I'm going to give you these problems. Pause the video and try to do these on your own. When you have your answers, unpause the video and I will give you my answers. Hopefully they're the same, right? Okay, pause the video now if you haven't. First one equals x squared minus 5x plus 20. Second one equals 5x to the fourth plus 3x to the third plus x squared minus 8x plus 1. On our subtraction problems, we would get x squared minus 9x minus 2. And on this second one, oh, that should be subtraction there, messed up, is going to be 5x to the fourth minus 3x cubed minus 7x squared plus 8x plus 1. I hope this helped.